Hello, welcome back to the Cricket Nerds. I'm back on British soil, feels good. And we're going to be talking about women's cricket, which, to be honest, I think we've neglected on this channel so far because we do actually really enjoy it. We follow it quite avidly. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, it hasn't come up that much. So this episode is going to be very devoted to the exciting and growing world of women's cricket, particularly with two major tournaments in mind. Mm-hmm. The ongoing T20 World Cup that is happening as we speak, that sadly India have just been knocked out of to Australia, who are unbelievably good, and England and South Africa are playing tomorrow, I believe. So yeah, we'll sort of chat a bit about kind of the key players or the people would be most excited by in that. And then it leads very nicely on to the women's IPL, or the Women's Premier League, I should call it, which is starting 1st of March, I think, which is next Wednesday. And that is really exciting because that's where hopefully we'll learn a lot more of the kind of Indian talent that's coming through, because that's how the men's IPL ended up working. Is we got to know a lot of the sort of uncapped Indian players, and it meant that a lot of them got international level experience, and that's why India have got such an amazing squad. So first things first, how have you found the women's T20 World Cup, Benj?
It's been good. It's been dominated a lot by Australia. I don't think they've lost a game in this World Cup.
No, I don't think they have. I don't think England has either. It's been pretty dominant from both of them.
Yeah, so it's been pretty good. Some real star-studded performances. I mean, personally, I've been following sort of the England team closer than any other teams myself. I mean, we've seen some phenomenal performances. We saw Sophie Ecclestone sweep away Ireland, and then we saw some like game-winning performances from Nat Skiverbrunt and Danny Wyatt against Pakistan to put up quite a commanding 213, which I think, again, citation needed, but I think was the record for women's T20.
It was, in fact, the first 200 plus score in a T20 World Cup for women.
And there's some knowledge there.
Oh yeah, all over it. And actually, that game, I want to dwell on that a little bit longer because that was unbelievable. Like, I haven't seen a team get that battered for a while. And Pakistan, they had some absolute howlers, especially in the field, which it turns out that it's just a Pakistani, like, it's a learned thing. They coach that because we've seen some howlers from the men, and apparently the women have been learning the same kind of fielding techniques, which is just shambolic. But yeah, the absolute standouts for that, Nat Skiverbrunt, who has been picked for Mumbai Indians in the WPL, and Danny Wyatt, who has not been picked in the WPL, which I was really surprised by because she's quite an exciting talent. But again, as we'll go into, there is a number of overseas cap, which we'd expect because it's the main function of the WPL is to develop Indian talent. But yeah, so we'll talk about sort of some of the players we're really excited to see because there are a few. But yeah, Danny Wyatt not picked. Interesting. And somebody else that did really well in that game was Sophie Ecclestone, who, and Sarah Glenn, both like super economical. Just none of the batters, Pakistani batters, could get it off the square, which was incredibly impressive. And Catherine Skiverbrunt, who was she picked in the WPL? I don't think she was. Yeah, interesting.
I think what's been really good about it though is like, from a franchise cricket perspective, I think there are a couple of things. Well, for a franchise game, for the women's game in franchise cricket, I think first off, the 100's been phenomenal, and I think that was really something that's kicked this off. And now seeing the IPL create the WPL has been, I think this will take that to the next level in terms of that franchise cricket in the women's game, like being able to put some serious like price tags in there. I think that's just some real positive and phenomenal stuff for the game as a whole. But we're seeing names that we know from the 100, names that we know from the World Cup being picked up in the WPL as well, which again, we'll talk about some of the teams and what we think about that in a bit. But yeah, it is great. And to see the what's happened so far in the T20 World Cup, it has been, really good. Australia versus India, it was a game that happened today. I didn't get to see it. I was working all day today, unfortunately. But did you catch any of it today?
Alas, also day job issues, but I did follow it. So I was, kind of keeping track on the side in between meetings, things like that. And I thought it was actually it was a very entertaining game, right down to the wire. And Australia women have they've got such a deep squad. You could probably make an 11 of the players that they're not playing that would still be a very competitive squad, which goes to show the impact that having the WBBL has had on the women's game there, and having like professional contracts for a long time in the women's game. That's been huge for them. It makes it a viable career option. But yeah, I think the standouts were Beth Mooney and Meg Lanning, who really got a very big partnership, and well, it wasn't that big. They drove it on, those two. But yeah, Ash Gardner was like the kind of finisher role, providing that Surya Kumar esque option at number 4.
I want to sort of speak about Ash Gardner a bit, because she's the highest, joint with Nat Sciver-Brunt, the highest overseas paid player in the WPL that's coming up. I think they both went for 3.2 crore, I think it was, in the auction. So you can see there was some proper money being thrown at this as well, which is just, it can only mean good things, and as hopefully off the back of the WPL, it brings up that whole market in India, and it will be interesting to see, in the comments, what your reaction is from the Indian fans as well to this, because as that game gets pushed more into the limelight, it means that TV rights goes up. It means that more money can be pumped into it to make it more of a spectacle, and more of a, and it can only be positive for the game, and improve it throughout the world. I think we've seen steps in New Zealand too, where they've I think got equal contracts on the men's and women's team, which I think is again a brilliant thing that they do. And again, they have their franchise tournament too. They've got the women's Super Smash, I think they call it over there.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But nothing, as we've seen in the men's game, nothing quite gets the viewership and the attention and the hype as the IPL. Like, I'd say that not even half the people who watch the IPL regularly tune in to watch the Super Smash, or to watch the Big Bash, or to watch the 100. Whereas now it's caught on, and we have this WPL. It's going to be fantastic, and we're excited to see it, to see how the teams are stacking up, and it's not something we've covered. So, quick, James, give us a 10-second summary of the WPL. Tell us the teams, and then we can go through some of the auction picks.
Okay, so WPL, imagine IPL, but you take away 3 teams and you make some of the franchises slightly different. It was all the options. There were 5 teams up for grabs, and they were to be located out of a number of different cities that the franchise who bought them could choose. They are Royal Challengers Bangalore, who you should recognise, Delhi Capitals again, the Mumbai Indians, so they're all the ones that were previously or have also got men's teams allocated to them. And then there are also the Gujarat Giants and the Up Warriors with a Z, which is based out of Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh. So very exciting to see some like new franchises coming in. I know me and you were both pretty gutted that our respective favorite franchises didn't purchase a team in Chennai and Punjab. So yeah, it was a sad moment, but also it's quite exciting because there's some new teams and it'll only grow. There'll only be new teams going. Like I imagine they'll expand going forward if this is a success.
Do you want to know something about the Gujarat Giants?
I think you know that I do.
So the Gujarat Giants, here's something about them, because again, there are two franchises that we don't know too much about. There's Gujarat Giants, and there's also the Up Warriors that we've talked about. The other three, we know Mumbai Indians, we know Delhi, we know RCB. Good. Gujarat Giants, they are owned by the Adani Group, who owns several sport teams. Their main team is the Gujarat Giants, who are a pro Kabaddi team. So that was sort of the original Gujarat Giants.
Kabaddi?
Kabaddi. What did I say?
Kabaddi.
Oh, I meant Kabaddi.
You're going to get hate now.
I read it, yeah. Kabaddi. I read it wrong. Kabaddi, yes. So they're a pro Kabaddi team. But they also own the Gujarat Giants, who are based out of Gujarat, the Golf Giants in the ILT League.
Oh,
so same franchise. That's why there's the same logo, and also the Gujarat Giants in the English in the Legends League cricket. So there's they're quite the prolific team coming in there. Not linked in any way to the Titans, which I thought they might be, which is wrong completely. But yeah, exciting. So joint ownership with the Golf Giants, who looked pretty good in the ILT.
Didn't they win in the end?
Won, indeed, yeah. Were the most successful.
Well, there we go. That's an interesting fun fact. So I reckon what we do now is talk about the players that we're most excited to see in the WPL. And then we throw out some strong predictions as to who we think is going to win. Because I've got some strong views.
Strong views.
Just powerful and strong. So we'll look at RCB first of all. They have named their captain, one of the two teams that's named their captain publicly, as Smriti Mandana, who is obviously a very talented batter. And they've got, and this is kind of a theme across a lot of the teams, a lot of all-rounders. So notably, these are the players I'm picking out as very significant. They've got overseas options of Sophie Devine, Heather Knight, Elise Perry, Dane Van Niekerk, as well as Erin Burns, Megan Schutt. So those are overseas options. They are very, very good options. I think the first four I mentioned would be who I'd go for because they're all kind of very experienced. They are leaders and they can win games, basically. What are your opinions on the RCB teams? Who's jumping out at you?
I mean, for me, Elise Perry's there. I think she's just been such a main part of that Australian women's team for so long. They're key all-rounder. You can attribute victory after victory from the Aussie team to her. I think she recently, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think she won Australian Player of the Year last year. In the women's, in the Aussie Cricket Awards, I think she won an award. I think Steve Smith won it for the men and she won it for the women, I believe. Again,
Horrible.
citation needed. Lots of facts that I'm spitting out today. I'm going to hit so much hate in the comments after all of these
No,
supposed facts.
everybody. There's only love in the comments. You know this. Yeah,
Um,
no,
but
I
they,
think you're absolutely right.
but they have also got the most expensive player in the league, with Simriti Mandana, who is their captain, and um, didn't do probably as well as she wanted in the latest game in the World Cup, but she performed really well. She, I think, scored 80 odd against Ireland, and I think she played really well against the England team as well. I think she got a 50 in that game. So yeah, I think we can expect big things from there, and I think just was out bowled in the game that was today in the World Cup. But
Mm.
yeah, I think RCB look very very strong. My money actually for winning though is actually on Mumbai,
Mm.
because I think Mumbai have a phenomenally strong team. I'd be surprised if Harmanpreet Kaur is not named as the captain. So I expect that to be there. But then we've also got in that side Nat Skivabrunt, and she doesn't know it yet, but friend of the show Izzy Wong, who we always want to see do well. Um, and yeah, it will be great to see how she does.
Yeah, we're big Izzy Wong fans on this channel. We because she bowls rockets. She's got aspirations to bowl the fastest. And yeah, like she can actually hit it a long way. I've seen hit some big sixes. So I think Mumbai have
Birmingham
got really
Phoenix.
exciting teams. Um, really exciting players. Sorry, because also Hayley Matthews, Amelia Kerr, um, yeah, Heather Graham is also very good. So yeah, I think the only issue with that team is potentially the Indian like international experience, because obviously they've got Harmanpreet Kaur, but yeah, not many other experienced players. I've just thought of somebody else from RCB that I'm quite excited to see. I forgot to mention them. Risha Ghosh.
Mm.
She's young. She's only 19, but she's like a bit of a rising star in India. And yeah, I'm very excited to see her. Forgot to mention, but I thought I'd throw that in there. Um, yeah, my money is, I don't know, because Mumbai do have a very strong squad. I think they're the team I probably want to win because I really like those two English players in Nat Silverbrunt and Izzy Wong. Um, but I don't know if they can like absolutely beat the absolute might that is Delhi Capitals,
Mm.
because I think they've got a very strong team. I mean, so do Uttar Pradesh, who notably, actually, this was something I did notice at the auction. Not many wicket keepers were bought,
Mm.
which, to say wicket keeper is a really significant role, like that can be the kind of winning or losing. A lot of teams, so Up Warriors, Mumbai, Delhi, and did RCB? Okay, RCB have two, but yeah, so those three teams only have one like notable wicket keeper in their ranks, and then the other teams, so Gujarat and RCB, have two. That's not a whole lot of wicket keeping to be spoken of. Not much cover there. So
Mm.
very interesting auction tactics. Definitely a big focus on all rounders, which is obviously a good thing because it means you get a batting depth, but not a whole lot of focus on wicket keepers. So yeah, I think Delhi will probably win because we'll go on to them now. We've got Meg Lanning, who we spoke about earlier as being incredibly talented. Jamima Rodriguez, Shafali Verma, um, Alice Capsey, Jess Johansson, Marizian Cap.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
really looking forward to seeing Alice Capsey and Shafali Verma opening the batting together. I
yeah,
mean, Alice Capsey I think has been coming in at 3 for England, but she just smashes it everywhere. Again, like the fastest 50 in this tournament as well. I think she's got like a 21 ball 50 or something the other day, which again, such amazing hitting. And yeah, Delhi
And she's so
look a
young
good
as
team,
well.
don't they? Oh, she's so young, and
She's
also
18.
bowls a handy, and I think she's a spinner as well.
Yeah, off spin, I think.
Yeah, bowls handy off spin because she's bowled for the Oval Invincibles, and also Melbourne Stars as well, which she played for this year. So, yeah, it's just great seeing someone like, again, this, we keep harping back to it, but someone like Alice Capsey, who has now got this opportunity from such a young age to be playing all over the world in these like high paying tournaments, and just having that same opportunity, I think is, yeah, phenomenal.
Mm. Shall we move on to the Up Warriors?
Yes,
Because
let's talk
they
about the
they
Up
also have,
Warriors.
yeah, they also have a strong team, and I'd say they probably have the best wicket keeper, which is actually a big advantage when you think about
Mm,
wicket keeper batters, because I think a lot of teams are going to have to kind of compromise a bit on their wicket keeping ability to get a better batter, or vice versa. So, Up Warriors with Alyssa Healy, I think, is a
yeah.
very good wicket keeping option. Um, Also notably got Talia McGrath, Deepti Sharma, Devika Vaidya. Who else am I excited?
Sophie Ecclestone, best bowler in the world.
Yep, Sophie Eccleston, incredible player. Um, Rajeshwari Gaikwad as well. She's
Yeah.
very good slow left arm orthodox. So they could potentially go double up on the left arm spin, which interesting tactic could work. Yeah.
Oh, and not to forget Lauren Bell.
No, of course. Yeah, nearly did. Yeah, and Shabnim Ismail as well. She's quick, isn't she?
Hmm.
So yeah, they've got some very good overseas options. What I'm noticing is I think it'd be quite difficult to actually pick a lot of overseas, like just 4 overseas in a lot of these teams,
Yeah.
because they are, that's where like most of the talent is, almost like obviously lots of talent in India, but yeah, I think it'd be quite difficult because so many great players have been picked up. So we're going to move on now, and we're going to look at some CNQs because
Do it.
we have been given a few.
Okay.
If you want the opportunity to be featured in one of our videos, leave your Cricket Nerds question in the comments down below. So our first Cricket Nerds question is from, I've filibustered for so long now, I can't find a damn thing. Right, okay, there we go. Our first Cricket Nerds question is from Ever Sunny Guy, who said, did Aussies find devils in the pitch, or is it really just extraordinary bowling from the Indians, or just lost due to reckless shots? So that is referencing the India versus Australia second test match, which
Day 3 collapse.
yes.
Yeah, no, I just think they played the wrong shots, didn't they? Like, they, so much came out after that where they were talking about you don't sweep in India, you don't sweep when it's bouncing like that in India. You didn't see any of the Indian players playing a sweep shot aside from KS Barrett, who slog swept to 6, which was beautiful. But most of his scoring shots was beautiful cover drives. I think he had 3 or 4 like textbook cover drives in his innings, and the old adage of if you're not sure what to do when you're facing spin, sweep, just really wasn't the case when there was variable bounce in Indian conditions. And I think a lot of that shows a bit of inexperience in the Australian side playing in India. You think of like Alex Carey had a little bit of success in the first innings with his sweep shot, but as soon as he got into the second innings, wasn't quite as good. And I think it's because the pitch had changed and there was that variable bounce. I'm going to go with mostly poor shot selection, because like as we talked about in our reaction video, Jadeja wasn't bowling anything particularly special. He was just bowling stump to stump.
Yeah.
And they just kept missing it. And like looking at some of the wickets afterwards, it was like chopping onto the stumps, hitting the back of the bat. Like there
It's
was
a lot
just
of
some.
it's a lot of you miss, I hit
Yeah,
bowling, and so like it's like we said in the reaction, it's not a slight on the bowling because it is good high quality bowling. It's just they didn't need to do much because
yeah,
Australia were playing so badly. And someone you mentioned there, KS Barrett, that leads on to our second Cricket Nerds question, which was from Amar Reddy, friend of the show, who said, "How good was KS Barrett?" Because realistically, his returns were not good in this Test match or the one before. They were decidedly bad. He got an 8, a 6, and a 23 not out. That 23 not out looked good, like you said. It did look good. However, not great. Not really challenging Rishabh Pant for long term for his long term position there. I think what we kind of realised in this Test match was India are like crying for Rishabh Pant to recover soon because that it wasn't very good. Basically, wasn't a very good performance. What did you think?
I think what has been good was his keeping. I think as a wicket keeper, he's really good. He's not missed anything. He's taken chances when he could. He's looked good with the gloves. Yeah, it has just been that batting that's been not an issue, but not probably where he wanted it to. And it was only that 23. And actually, I wouldn't knock that 23. That's a good. That's a great contribution given the circumstances. But yeah, he's not. I would agree. I don't think he challenges Rishabh Pant long term for that. I think he's been okay as the second wicket keeper, and I think that's probably going to be his role. And then, sort of in T20s and ODIs, I expect to see more of Ishan Kishan over Rishabh Pant.
Yep. Right. That's all we've got time for. Thank you so much for watching. I'm just going to highlight one last comment because I really appreciated it. It was from Stephen G. Verghese. And he said, aside from the brilliant analysis, the impeccable pronunciation of KN Ananthapadma Badmanaban. Oh, damn it. I think I think I mispronounced it. Ananthapadmanaban is how you say it. Deserves a sub and a like. Keep up the good work, lads. So thank you very much. Only took 3 weeks of practice. So yeah, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to follow our social medias. We are at Cricket Nerds Pod. And yeah, leave your Cricket Nerds questions down in the comments below. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.